Good morning. It is Friday, September 17th. We're here for our daily lectionary readings. We have our 3 readings as we prepare for Sunday. Psalm 54 is our psalm reading. 1 Kings 22:24 through 40 is our Old Testament reading. And then Romans chapter 11, verses 25 through 32 is our New Testament reading. Let us take a listen in to our scriptures for the day. Psalms 54. Save me, O God, by your name, and vindicate me by your might. Hear my prayer, O God. Give ear to the words of my mouth. For the insolent has risen against me. The ruthless seek my life. They do not set God before them. But surely God is my helper. The Lord is the upholder of my life. He will repay my enemies for their evil. In your faithfulness, put an end to them. With a free will offering, I will sacrifice to you. I will give thanks to your name, O Lord, for it is good, for he has delivered me from every trouble. And my eye has looked in triumph on my enemy. Our Old Testament reading today comes from the book of 1 Kings, chapter 22, verses 24 through 40. Then Zedekiah, son of Chenaanah, came up to Micah, slapped him on the cheek, and said, "Which way did the Spirit of the Lord pass from me to speak to you?" Micaiah replied, "You will find out on the day when you go into the hide in the inner chamber." The king of the Israel then ordered, "Take Micaiah and return him to Aaron, the governor of the city, to Joash, the king's son, and say, 'Thus says the king, put this fellow in prison, and feed him on reduced rations of bread and water until I come in peace.'" Micaiah said, "If you return in peace, the Lord has not spoken by me." And he said, "Hear, you people, all of you." So the king of Israel and the king Jehoshaphat of Judah went up to Ramoth-Gilead. The king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "I will disguise myself and go into battle, but you wear your robes." So the king of Israel disguised himself and went into battle. Now the king of Aram had commanded the 32 captains of the chariots, "Fight with no one, small or great, but only with the king of Israel." When the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, they said, "It is surely the king of Israel." So they turned to fight against him. And Jehoshaphat cried out. When the captains of the chariots saw that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back from pursuing him. But a certain man drew his bow and unknowingly struck the king of Israel between the scale armor and the breastplate. So he said to the driver of his chariot, "Turn around and carry me out of the battle, for I am wounded." The battle grew hot that day, and the king was propped up in his chariot, facing the Arameans, until at evening he died. The blood from his wound had flowed into the bottom of the chariot. Then, about sunset, a shout went out through the army, "Every man to his city, and every man to his country." So the king died and was brought to Samaria. They buried the king of Samaria. They washed the chariot by the pool of Samaria. The dogs licked up the blood, and the prostitutes washed themselves in it, according to the word of the Lord that he had spoken. Now, the rest of the acts of Ahab and all that he did, and the ivory house that he built, and all the cities that he built, are they not written in the book of annals of the kings of Israel? So Ahab slept with his ancestor, and his sons Uzziah succeeded him. And now we go to our New Testament. Our New Testament reading comes from the book of Romans, chapter 11, verses 25 through 32. So that you will not claim to be wiser than you are, brothers and sisters, I want you to understand this mystery. A hardening has come upon Israel until the full number of Gentiles have come in. And so Israel will be saved, as it is written. Out of Zion will come the deliverer. He will banish ungodliness from Jacob. And this is my covenant with them, when I take away their sins. As regards to the gospel, they are enemies of God for your sake. But as regards elections, they are beloved for the sake of their ancestors. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Just as you were once disobedient to God, but have now received the mercy because of their disobedience. So they now have been disobedient in order that by the mercy shown to you, they too may now receive mercy. For God has imprisoned all in disobedience, so that he may be merciful to all. And here ends our readings for the day.